Hey y'all, and welcome to The Wannabe Author. I'm Taryn, a writer figuring out how to turn my publishing dream into reality, one chaotic step at a time. This is the place where we talk books, writing struggles, mental health, and everything in between. Whether you're a writer, a reader, or just curious about the process, I am so glad you're here. Let's jump in. Hey y'all, and welcome back to The Wannabe Author. I'm your host, Taryn Christeen, and today is the finale episode of Season 1. How crazy is that? Um, I'll give a little sweep down of the plan for the podcast because I don't want to talk about the podcast anymore after this. Um, we've got too many other things to talk about. So, podcasting, I decided to do a split in the seasons because I've got some pretty exciting things. If you follow me on other socials, I've got some pretty exciting things going on, and we'll talk about that. But I just felt season 1, it had a theme, and it was the journey, talking about my journey to publication. I started out the podcast on submission with my debut novel, and then I ended up leaving my agent, and now, if you've seen, I am now self-publishing my debut novel. And so I just felt it really had this theme of the journey. I got to talk to other authors about their journey to publication. And so many of you have reached out and told me how inspirational and informational the Wannabe Author has been for you, and I plan for it to continue to be. I have a theme, I have people I'm talking to, interviews set up for season 2 that I think will just be absolutely phenomenal. And I'm really looking forward to it. But I just want to say a quick thank you to all of you for listening and watching. If you haven't, subscribe, follow, keep up with, because I plan to work my little booty off to make sure that this podcast continues to be an asset in your own writing journey, or just like a book podcast for you to listen to your favorite creators and people in the industry. So, anyway, let's begin. Our guest today is me, so I won't do a whole big old introduction. I decided to put myself through my own author interview, so this is going to be fun. I always like to start out my interviews with asking my guests, what are you currently reading? So, what am I currently reading? Just the best book ever to freaking exist. For those of you who can't see, I'm holding in my hand the most beautiful, most fabulous book from the most fabulous author ever. It is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. It came out like literally not too long ago, and I love it. My favorite book of all time is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. I love the vibes, her writing, her characters. Absolutely adore everything about VE's books. And this book, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, it goes right along with those vibes. She explains it as 3 toxic lesbian vampires, and she is not wrong. And it's fabulous. There's 3 different stories in here that we've gotten to see. I've really dug into 2 stories, barely glimpsed 1 story, and I love the characters. I love them. I love this book. Ugh, I wish it would never end. Anyway, that's what I'm currently reading. Now, let's dive into this interview. Okay, so my first question is, what brought you to the point where you finally sat down and said, I'm going to write this book and I'm going to publish it? So I'm kind of giving a little background to this book in general that I am getting ready to self-publish July 22nd. If you go to my first episode, I kind of talk about why I went from, because I've already self-published this damn thing. this journey has been crazy, guys. I've already self-published it at one point. It was up for maybe not even a month, maybe a month, and I took it down, edited it, got an agent, all the things. And I'll talk more about that when the question of publication comes up. But Anyway, I don't even know where to start. This book has just been through everything. It's crazy. I'm so done with it. I'm so proud of myself for keeping going because literally, my brain hurts. Also, I got my proof copy of the book like literally an hour ago. Look how pretty she is. Absolutely stunning. I'm obsessed with her. Yes, I just smiled for the camera because I need a thumbnail for this episode, so ignore that. Anyway, if you want to go back to that first episode, I kind of give a little rundown of how I went from my original self-publishing to then having an agent and going out on submission. Leading up to all of that, I'll give you a little rundown. Back in 2023, I had just started reading again. A friend introduced me to reading, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I've always been a writer at heart. I have a little half-made book over here, half-made book over there from when I was 12 to I'd say 16. I stopped reading and writing around 16. Um, and just didn't pick it back up for a really long time until 2023. I My career had just imploded. I had just gotten done with school. I was starting out a career that I was so excited for. I was an esthetician and med spas and stuff, and again, it imploded in my face, and I was just distraught. So I got back into reading, and that really helped because as soon as my reader happiness was sparked to life again, so was my need to write. So picture this, I am working full time, 6:30 to 2:30, while also being a small business owner. Um I would get off work, I would run to my little rented out space where I would do facials and stuff because I was an esthetician. And between clients coming in to my little rented space, I would write this book, a book idea I came up with back in high school. Just I just felt like I should write it because it made me happy. And it was something I found a lot of creativity in back in high school. So I was like, you know what? I'll finish that story. I came up with the plot idea, might as well finish the story. I did that for months. I didn't tell a soul about it. I told one of my friends about it. I would send her chapters and stuff, but that was it. Like, I wasn't planning on publishing or anything until my husband found the book. And he was like, you need to publish this. It needs to happen. So, publishing was never part of the plan, but sitting down and finally writing the book, it was just sparked by this need to feel something other than whatever I was feeling at the time. I was feeling distraught and just sad and felt like I couldn't keep up, which that continued on even though I was writing the book. My little small business failed, but I was okay because all of a sudden I had this new dream of publishing this book. So, early 2024, I ended up publishing the book. And again, I wasn't planning on it, but I felt so passionate about it, and my husband believed in me, my friend believed in me, that I was just like, I need to do it. I just need to do it for myself. I've always wanted to publish a book, so I'm going to do it. Did I do it correctly? No. I published a first draft, and it was pretty crappy, but a lot of people really loved the storyline, which then led me to my publishing journey. But before we get into that, do I have any writing routines? Am I an outliner, pantser, drinks or snacks, location, music ingested? Let's see. I write right here. This is my office, and once I'm in my office, I am writing, doing nothing else. Am I a pantser or a plotter? I would have told you I was a pantser if you'd asked me that literally a month ago. But I've really become a plotter. I'm very much a hybrid. Like, I have this idea of a plot, a twist, ending, beginning, and I write until I really get to know the characters. It's like I'm introducing myself to the characters, okay? I start writing, introduce myself to the characters. I get to know them. I get to know their tendencies, their quirks and stuff. And then once I understand my characters, that's when I start plotting. I'm like, this is what's going to happen. Because then I understand what motivates them, what discourages them, and I'm able to put in roadblocks or leeways for them to get to their destination. And I already know their destination. So I've really become a hybrid pantser plotter, and I think that is just the best way to go about it because it's just fun and it's not all over the place. I listen to lots of music, instrumental, all over the place. I listen to all the music, all of it. I usually will find one artist that kind of resonates with me for a book. This book, I think his name. Oh, some of you are gonna hate me for not knowing his name right off the bat. One second. I'm gonna hate myself. Dami Damiano David? Oh no! He dated Dove Cameron, that's all I know. I'm sorry. Oh, and he's the lead singer of Skin. Please tell me I said that right. I'm really not doing well. I just got off work, okay? And I didn't sleep last night. Main. Yeah, Skin. I love Skin. Damiano David. I don't want to say David because I feel like it's not David. Damiano David. Okay, whatever. I'll stop. He's like his I think it's a recent album actually that he just came out with called Funny Little Fears. Yeah, it's recent release. I feel like that album just encases this whole book. Like the vibes and stuff is so good. Um so I've been listening to that like crazy since editing and stuff. I didn't really have anything I was listening to when I was originally writing it, but now I do have artists that I really hone in on and I just listen to them over and over and over again while I'm writing my books, and then once I'm done writing the book, I can never listen to it again because I've ruined it for myself. But yes, that album has just been perfect and I've been listening to it like crazy. Um but yeah, that's I don't have any routines. I write a lot while I'm at work. I write a lot when my husband goes to work at night and I just write all the time. All the time. Any chance I get because I don't have a whole lot of time. So I just have to take any spare moment I can to write or read. Now, tell the listeners about your journey to publication and what was the most surprising aspect about the journey. Oh my gosh. What wasn't surprising about it? Um See, I've interviewed so many authors and I don't feel like a lot of them had my same journey, but that's the thing is all the journeys have been so different and so interesting and so inspiring. But anyway, we're going to get into this. I'm going to give you the tea. So, again, I self-published back in early 2024. It was my first draft. It was so crappy. Guys, whoever said that was a good book, you're lying to yourself or me. And that's rude. Don't lie. That's a sin. Anyway, it was very poorly written. I didn't know what I was doing. That's okay. I needed an editor like crazy. Um, but we've learned. We've learned, and I think that's the moral of the story is I've had a lot of growth. But I self-published that. A lot of people liked the book, but a lot of people were upset that it wasn't edited. And I'm broke, and I didn't know how to get it edited without dropping a lot of money on a freelance editor or something. And then I learned about traditional publishing. Editors come with the traditional publishing package. So I was like, perfect. We're gonna get this book traditionally published. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what a big deal that was. I didn't know what the query trenches were. I learned that you needed an agent. I learned how to get an agent, and then I just did the thing. I sent out a few really crappy query letters, And within 3 weeks, I got myself an agent. I'm not going to brag about that because it ended up not working out. So, but if I can get an agent, trust me, you can get an agent as well. Anyway, let's continue. I stayed with my agent for almost a year. We worked together, we edited my book a lot. And I get into real details of why this relationship didn't work out in a Substack post. But the bottom line was, I learned later after signing with this agent that an agent author relationship is a partnership. It is a team. It is a team that is working towards mutual success. And that is not what me and my agent were. We were not a team. I hardly have an idea of what we were. I was the needy girlfriend who sent a lot of text messages and was left on red. Let's be real. Um, they're just, I didn't get a whole lot of information, and I tried not to be annoying, so I did a lot of my learning of how the industry worked outside of what was going on. And that's a huge reason as to why I started up this podcast, was because I was getting no information whatsoever of what my job was as the author. So I was like, well, why don't I just ask the people who are actually doing it and are succeeding at it? And yeah, that's how I'll learn and figure this all out. So that's a huge reason as to why I started this podcast, y'all. It's because I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know who to ask, and I gave authors a reason to let me ask them all the questions. So, uh, anyway, so fun. I was really struggling with this relationship with my agent, and um, it wasn't until I kind of just took it like, I don't know, if something bad is going wrong, I think I'm positive to a fault where I'm like, it'll work out. Like, with enough hard work, I can make this work out. So I was making it work. We went out on submission October of 2024. Um, I didn't know who to, which usually you should know who you're going out on submission to, or at least have a hand in the idea of where your submission is going or how it's even pitched. I don't know how my book was pitched at all. Anyway, um, later I got to know an author who, they have been very outspoken about a really unfortunate author agent relationship that they experienced. They are now published. They're doing phenomenal. They're writing their second book, and such an amazing author in the industry. I really look up to them, and I support them as much as I can because they've been such an awesome influence for me. But they had talked about their author agent relationship that didn't work out, and they ended up leaving the agent, starting over. And when I met them, they were working to get, no, they had an agent, they had a book deal, and they were so close getting ready to publish their book. It is now doing so well. I've read the book. I absolutely love the book. But I asked them to come onto the podcast because I was listening to their failed author agent relationship, and I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds like what I'm going through. Like, I need to talk to somebody about this. And I wasn't going to admit to the fact that, hey, I'm going through that. I'd love to know your thoughts. I just wanted them to talk about it on the podcast. And this author, so sweet, goes, I'd love to talk about it, but awkward thing is, I should probably let you know that agent that it didn't work out with, that is actually your current agent. I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's why our our experiences sound so similar. So that kind of opened my eyes to how the situation I was in. And I realized, I'm like, do I just want to get a book out there, or do I want to succeed at what I'm doing? So it really made me think, and it later led to me leaving my agent. I think it was like just a couple weeks later, I ended up leaving my agent due to that fact of realizing, like, oh, this isn't just happening to me, this happened to somebody else. But now that they are away from that agent, they are succeeding and they're doing fabulous. And you know what? That could be me. So maybe I need to make the hard choice. And I ended up making the hard choice. And honestly, I'm glad I did. Sometimes I sit there and I'm like, did I make the right choice? And then other times I'm like, yeah, I made the right choice. And so, yeah, I think the most surprising aspect of the publishing journey. Oh, why am I now self-publishing? I may have already explained this, but once a book is shopped out to editors, it's near impossible for it to succeed on the traditional path again, because agents usually won't consider picking it back up because it's already been shopped, it's already been seen by editors. So it's pretty much just, it died. It died on submission. And I just refused to accept that. I promised myself that I would publish this book. Did I promise myself that it would be published like way later in my life? Yes, but I was already working so hard toward it that I just was like, you know what? So many people have fallen in love with the concept of this book. It went viral on YouTube and it went mini viral on TikTok. People want this book. I just need to do it. And it has been so hard because I've had to get so used to the fact that only I am here to say, yeah, you did a good job. People are going to love this. That's hard for me because I am fueled by words of affirmation and acceptance from others. So, but yeah, that is why we're self-publishing. I made a promise to myself and I refuse to break that promise. So, yeah, most surprising aspect has been that it didn't turn out at all what I thought it was going to be. I thought you get the agent and you're on the way to success. Nope, not how it works. And you know what? There's a lot of stories like that, whether they're not exactly like my story, but I've met a lot of authors who didn't find success right after the agent, but they are fabulous authors. They are succeeding in so many ways. So that's been very interesting to see that. And that there are so many avenues towards publishing, and publishing is constantly changing. So yeah, that's the journey. What do you wish someone had told you when you were an aspiring author? Um, so many things. So many things. Listen to your gut. That's what I would have told myself. Listen to your gut. Because when I was signing with that agent, I had a feeling. I had a feeling. But the thing is, I wouldn't change it for the world because I've learned so much. If I hadn't, like, I'm glad that agent wanted me. I don't know why they wanted me. Like, I look back at that book and my query letter, I'm like, that made no sense. Why? I'm just probably too hard on myself. But I'm glad they wanted me because it truly taught me so much about myself, about the kind of books I want to write, about the industry, about the kind of authors and industry professionals I want to surround myself with, routes I want to take. But it did teach me that if I have a feeling about something, I need to listen to myself. Even though I don't know I don't know a whole ton. I'm constantly learning. I'm forever a wannabe author, figuring out this world. Um, but I wish I wish I was told to trust my gut a bit more. So, that is my advice. Trust your gut. Um, have you ever thought about giving up, and if so, what kept you going? Literally a week ago. Today. I'm so tired. So tired, y'all. Um, I thought about giving up. What was it? I think maybe just after my agent. No, okay. So I left my agent. I wrote another book and I went and queried the other book. And I thought for sure this book was going to get picked up so quick. I actually got a full manuscript request within days Actually, the day of me submitting it, I got a full manuscript request, and I was like, "This is it. Okay, I'm gonna bounce back. It's gonna be good." I actually love that book, and it will see the light of day. But I kept getting rejection after rejection after rejection, and I sat there and I was like, "What? What is the point of this? Like, this isn't fun." And then this is right before I decided I was going to self-publish the book. I was like, this isn't fun for me. I hate this. Like, I just felt so defeated. And I was thinking about when I originally self-published. It was so on a whim. I was having fun. It was a good time. I just wanted to write a book and I did it. And I didn't care if I failed brutally in front of everybody or what anyone thought. I just did it. And I missed that feeling. And when I thought about giving up, I sat there and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. Who cares? Who cares what anybody thinks? Who cares? I'm just going to have fun again. And I think that's what kept me from giving up. And by giving up, I mean like towards publishing or like getting my work out there. I will never stop writing. I will write forever, as long as I live. But I got pretty close to just stopping this whole little dream altogether. But I think as long as I'm having fun and I can see that I'm learning and growing, I'll forever do this no matter how hard it is. It's a good time and I love it. Okay, outside of being an author, what is a fun fact about you that most people don't know? Oh, crap. Guys, there's not a lot of me outside of being an author right now. Um, I Okay, let's go back to the esthetician thing. I love skincare, beauty. I was a makeup artist at one point. I did hair. Oh, I did hair from so I started a hair business, a hair design business at 4, 15 years old. And my first job was wedding hair. One of my readers is actually that client that I did wedding hair on, and I love her. She's amazing. Anyway, I'm all about the beauty stuff. I did hair for a really long time. I've been in 2, 3 magazines, where I did hair for collaborative shoots, and so my work is in 3 different magazines. And then I did makeup for a while, and I'm still way into skincare aesthetics. If you ever like, I'm curious about what I should do for my skin. I'm your girl. I love that stuff. It's my favorite. Anyway, are there any out of pocket genres you would like to try your hand at in writing, guys? Right now, and you know what? This is the best part about not having an agent and just being your own thing is you can say whatever you want. But I'm writing. Maybe I don't want to share this. Okay, I'm dabbling in a like gothic fantasy kind of horror. All right. Dual timeline, but it's about a sleep paralysis demon. Yeah. There's so much I could say to that, but I'm going to leave it at that. It's out of pocket for me because I'm very much romance, feel good. I mean, the freaking title of my first book is Dear Future Husband. Like, come on now. But totally, totally digging that. And I will make it. I will get it out there because I can and I want to. Hmm. Favorite trope to read or write in? Okay, when he falls first and he falls harder. When the man is absolutely whipped, I love it. I love it. And I can promise that like the boys and men in my books are all going to be just absolutely obsessed with the FMC. Yeah, I think that's my favorite. to read and to write in. What's next for you? Any teasers on future projects? Well, I'm publishing this book July 22nd. I just barely put out ARC reader signups, so if you haven't signed up, sign up. I'm literally accepting a whole lot of people, so please sign up. I'd love to get the word out about this book. But if you've noticed at the top of the book, it says book 1 of the Dearly Written series because I've already written book 2. More details to follow regarding that book, but that's all, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in season 1, for stomaching some of my most awkward interactions because I'm so bad at socializing, but I'm getting better. I will say. And I think you can see it. You can listen to my stuff and be like, "Oh yeah, she's definitely getting better." My mom actually texted me the other day and she's like, "You're definitely getting better." I'm like, "Thank you." I know. I'm figuring this out. I'm growing up. The frontal lobe is developing. So, it's been a blast. Thank you. I cannot wait to see y'all in season 2, especially with the guests we have coming on. It is going to be so great and informational. And I'm hoping that I know I only did I think 3 solo episodes this last season, but I hope to do even less solo episodes. It'll just be me and my guests. It'll be so much fun. Sorry. I choked on air. All right. Thanks, y'all, and make sure to add Dear Future Husband to your TBR. Love y'all. See you next time. Bye.